I whacked myself in the eye with a little twig branch.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you whacked yourself with it?
Well,
Going to call the meeting of the organization meeting of Hudson County Council for 2026 is now in session. Please rise for the presentation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with justice for all. Okay. Not my email about the order of roll call, so we call roll.
Councilmember Haddad.
Present.
Kearney.
Here.
Rummy.
Here.
Fowler.
Here.
Foster.
Here.
Roberts. Here. Belton. Here. Lolo.
Here.
Cousin.
Here.
Morantic.
Here.
President Morris.
Here.
Form President.
So this meeting is to go over the, rules of order for 2026. I have made some changes to the rules from last year, so I'm going to go through them. Before I do that, I want to give a very hearty welcome to our 3 new members. First ward, 5th ward, and 3rd ward. You know, any questions that you have, just reach out to any of us. Happy to fill you in on how we do and do not get things done here. But very warm welcome for our newcomers, and welcome back to those of us who are still willing to enjoy the fun. So the first rule of order did not change. Other than changing the date of the meetings. So we have been meeting, I believe, on the 3rd. I brought that through. Have been the 3rd Tuesday. So our meeting will now occur on the 4th Tuesday of each month. And the Monday, the informal meeting, will occur on Monday 8 days prior. That language is a little different, because it takes care of problems where Monday and Tuesday, if the month begins on Monday, you get into a problem where you have the Monday apart. So basically that is switching to the 4th Tuesday of each month. I have it listed here at 6 p.m., but I do want to put it to you, and we can make this change if you wish. It used to be a 7 p.m. meeting. For me personally, 6, 7 doesn't make any difference, but I would like to ask the council if 6 is their preference. Would they prefer to go back to 7? What are your thoughts? And I think
5:30.
and I,
Half out. 5:30. No.
so I'll go around by ward. So first ward, do you have a preference?
I'm sorry, 7. 7 would be great, please.
Gary,
6.
2nd ward, 1. 6, 7,
7 doesn't matter.
okay,
Yeah, 5:30 would be the earliest that I could do just because I work.
but do you have a preference?
I would prefer 6, but
Okay.
7 is fine for me too.
4th, 2nd, 3rd ward, Jason?
I can do either.
Either, Lola?
6, 7 is.
I'm sorry,
I said 6, 7
Six.
is lots away from.
4,
6.
6 is fine, 5th ward?
7. I don't, sorry, I just work till 6.
Tom, do you have a preference?
6, because of, 1, because of transportation, and 2, because of, I get out of work at 5 and just more convenient, you can wait over here for 6 o'clock meeting. I was part of that 7 o'clock, and that's a long day.
I think most people seem to be happy with 6, so we leave it at 6.
Claire, do you work far away?
No, and my schedule is kind of working around this, but I'd rather stay and finish. But it's fine, 6 is fine.
Okay, so we're gonna leave that. Rule number 2, relates to the quorum. And if in the absence of the president, the majority lead will chair the meeting. That is the same as last year. Order of business for the formal session. Roll call, approval of minutes, paying bills. Some resolutions, old business, new business, adjournment, that is identical to last year. Number 4, local laws and resolutions, and I wanted to talk about this because some significant changes here. One of the things that I think those of us who have been here for the previous sessions have dealt with is that we have things coming before us at the formal meeting where it may not have been sent to the informal meeting. Sometimes we will get things the same day as the formal meeting with the expectation that we are going to vote on it. So I have changed this to say that resolutions and laws shall be submitted in writing at the informal session for review and discussion before submission to formal. This rule may be waived when deemed necessary. However, only unavoidable or unforeseen circumstances will be considered when considering necessity. And I really think that we should have the discipline to try to hold to that, not be paying attention to the fact that, oh my God, the meeting's coming up. It's not really a unforeseen thing. There will be things that will come up. There will be issues that will come up potentially from another office, from another department, from the treasurer, from the mayor, where we need to waive that. But in general, this is what I think we need to stick to. Also new, all laws and resolutions must have at least one member of the council as a sponsor or sponsors. Sponsors will be responsible for presenting the law or resolution, explaining its intent, and the reason for consideration. The reason I'm putting this in here, and in many cases, I'm happy to be the sponsor and to do the research and present whatever we are looking at. The reason this is here is, again, we have had situations where resolutions have been brought before us. We don't know who wrote them, where it came from, and there's nobody in the room who can say, oh, this is something that I have been working on and my committee worked on. This is where it came from. This is what we're doing. So we need to ensure that there is a sponsor for anything coming before.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So if somebody from the public were to submit something to you, is there instructions given back to them about the proper process so that this is something?
These rules are posted on the website. I'm going to come to communication in a moment. If somebody wants to bring something forward, what they would need, if a member of the public wants to bring something forward, what they would do is approach their representative on the council and say, this is something that is an issue for me or for our community in your district. I want you to take this up and take it to the council. And I've had things like that brought to me.
No, I understand that. I'm asking for clarification. Like there was, I think at the last meeting, there was a resolution that went just to the common council president. He didn't entertain it or tell the person that that process wasn't being honored.
Which resolution are you talking about?
The one you wrote for the power, right?
That was
It
what
like-
last year. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
yes.
I'm just asking, will you give them the proper steps so that they don't have to go look for it themselves? That's all I'm asking.
We can communicate that to the
That's all.
others. So there's the sponsors are responsible for presenting and explaining. Resolutions presented at the informal may be assigned by the, this is same as last year, assigned by the president to a standing committee of the council or to an ad hoc committee, or may be placed by the president on the agenda for the formal session. Petition by 3 members of the council to the full council would be sufficient to discharge draft or a resolution and bring it before the council. That all of that is the same as before. So we may have something come up in the informal meeting, and after discussion, we will decide, let's send this to legal, or let's send this to finance, or whatever. That's the only language. Votes of the council is the same as before, with the exception of the 4th paragraph. All questions pertaining to appropriations, aye, nay vote shall be taken, and the same shall be the record vote. And their absences are neither ayes nor nays. However, when you count whether or not something has a majority, the full council is the number that is counted. Okay. Every member present when any question, and I actually sent a slightly modified version of this because I missed a piece of language. Every member present when any questions are stated shall vote thereon unless accused for conflict of interest or abstaining due to insufficient information. And I put in language here to explain what constitutes a good rationale for abstention or recusal. In the event of recusal, the member must state the nature of the conflict and must also recuse themselves from discussion of the question at hand. In the event of abstention, the member must state the nature of the information. So abstention is only to be allowed due to insufficient information. I'll come back to that in a moment. In the event of abstention, the member must state the nature of the information that they require in order to cast a vote. The reason for that is that preferably we should vote aye or yes or no, unless we're recusing. We have had situations, again, because material has been brought to us on the day of the vote, and there hasn't been enough time to actually know even what we're voting on. And so we have had some abstentions in the past. My hope is that if we abide by actually bringing things through, having a sponsor, getting it a week before the meeting, that we will not need to abstain. That should be the worst case scenario. You need to be specific about what information you lack in order to cast a vote. There was no change to the language about what constitutes a majority of the council. Sorry.
What would happen if someone insists on abstaining?
They have to give a reason.
What would be the consequence?
There is no consequence. An abstention is valid. It's valid. It's not preferred if you have the information, but
People submit to, likely to everyone in the company?
No, not necessarily.
What your,
So if somebody submits something, like I've had situations where somebody would submit a comment to me on a topic that's on the agenda, and I would send that to them.
right,
And I'd take the communication.
yeah,
Or, it might just go to me, I would send it to everybody and ask the question.
and then you say, okay, I want this to be included for everyone.
But what, I think what we have to communicate to the public on the website is, if you wish to make, okay, if you want to communicate, please specify whether or not you want this posted. And it should be pertaining to a specific topic on the agenda. Okay. So are we back?
Yeah.
All right. So, rule number 9, presentations to the council, this is a new word. And this goes along with the idea of, resolutions and laws having to have a sponsor. So members of the council may request that a presentation be made to the council. Again, it's like having a sponsor. And those presenters have to be sponsored by a member of the council. So this might be an outside group, it might be a grassroots group, where you want to have a presentation. We will limit those to 5 minutes unless there's some reason to allocate additional time for it. But it just codifies a rule for us to have a mechanism whereby entities can come and make presentations. Any questions on that one? I made no changes to executive sessions. Those are pretty much specified by New York State law. Paying of the bills is the same. We have, the bills are presented to the council for payment. And we have to have, they have to be authorized and endorsed by 2 or more council members. This is the process that we've had in place quite some time, where 2 members have to sign off on the bills. I've made no changes to altering of the rules. With a 2/3 vote, a rule can be changed or amended. So as we've gone through them this evening, I am adding back in language, for example, because the consensus here is that we want to add in the language under rule number 8. So that would be modified. And then the next thing, which is not a rule that's so much, let me see, recess and adjournment, rule of order, those are all the same. Designation of majority and minority lead. That rule has not changed from last year. However, in our caucus this evening, before this meeting, we have nominated Dominic Morante as our majority lead and Ronnie Mohammed as our minority to serve for this term. The one change that I did make here was to make the term of majority and minority to run concurrent with the term of the council, so that we will not need to do this again in January unless either Dominic or Ronnie decide to step down. Reasonable accommodation, there is no change there. What is new is that we are now going to go back to having committees, standing committees. In the last couple of councils, we have just had finance and safety. For one term, we actually had, finance and legal. For one term, we only had legal. Finance was brought back when Rich joined the council. So finance will be treasurer will report to finance. We will get monthly reports as how we always get. And that will also hopefully incorporate some proposals and some focus on economic development. Safety will be the fire department and the Hudson Police Department. There may be some overlap between safety and other areas like legal, depending on what the issue is. Services is Hudson Youth and Senior Centers. Code and infrastructure, Office of Code Enforcement and Department of Public Works. So for example, there may be situations where on a safety issue, you may want to loop in discussion with DPW. If you're talking about sidewalk, crosswalks and so forth, that there may be some need to loop those together, and we will continue to have legal. Ronnie is putting together a format which will go out to all of you. And I'm asking you to select your first, second, and third preferences for committees, and also the number of committees that you're willing to serve on. Given that we have 5 and we need at least 3 people per committee, that means we need at least 15 bodies, right? So a couple of people are gonna have to do more than one committee. We'll try to honor everybody's preferences. I think people do their best work when they're working on something that interests them. None of the departments will be reporting to the informal meeting going forward. That meeting will be made up of looking at new laws, looking at resolutions, having discussion, doing the work that we need to do before we vote. Then the role of the committees will be to receive the reports and to actually do the work that needs to get done. So if you want to talk about a parking issue, if you want to talk about a safety issue, that's where that work will have to get done. And then the committees can develop resolutions for consideration for the full council. Legal typically drafts local laws, code changes, and so forth. A lot of things end up going to legal for review, coming out of another committee, so it's not uncommon for something to get sent to legal for review. Chairs notify the council at the informal meeting if some big issue has come up within their committee. So, for example, we had an issue a while back with an accident, an e-bike accident, and that is a safety issue that we really need to bring forward and write some code relating to that. That is something where if the police were to report to the safety committee, we've had this issue, we have had another e-bike accident, then that's something that the chair of that committee would say, this was the most salient thing that was reported in our monthly meeting, and we would like to have legal take a look at working with us and with the police department to write code relating to that. That's how that should flow. Committees will refer issues to other standing committees as appropriate, such as legal or finance, depending on what the appropriate thing is. So you will be getting between now and next week, Ronnie's grid. Put in your preferences so that we can make sure that everybody is working on something that they have some passion about and some background in. And those are the rules of order. Questions? Other changes?
Well, the committees themselves determine what day and time.
Yes, the committees will need to determine when they wish to meet and what their schedule is, and do that just by looking at the calendar, the city calendar come up, and they will also elect their leader.
So it looks like the committees will start in February because we're.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
okay.
we are going to have a regular meeting next week, but that's going to be primarily for paying the bills. And we may be addressing the SLUP club resolution that we had last December. That's currently being reviewed by the agreement, the lease is being reviewed by legal right now, but that may be on the agenda for next week. That would be a very short meeting. I had intended not to meet, but we need to meet in order to pay the vote.
And minutes are going to be done in the committees?
Linda Fenhoff
Okay.
she pretty much shows the
Great.
informal minutes.
Yeah,
So it's basically the same thing, it's just going to be at different time frames.
great, thank you.
And committee chairs would be doing the minutes for those committees.
No,
No.
Linda Fenhoff.
Linda Fenhoff.
Fenhoff doesn't know.
All of those,
She does
so
it.
she's gonna do all those meetings.
Yes, she does.
Does she have any with the addition of 5 more a month?
Well, some of them may, depending on how you do it, they may be back
Right,
to back,
okay.
for example.
Great,
And she's already, like with the informal.
that's a great change that,
The informal can go on for 2 hours.
well,
And
that's
so
a new thing.
she does the minutes for all of those.
Also,
Right.
well, with the committees doing
Yeah.
most of the conversation
Yeah.
with the community and the work, hopefully that doesn't happen.
No, it will not happen.
Yeah, it will
The
not.
Departments will not report to me.
And did it imply that the department heads will be on the committees?
Excuse me?
Is it implied?
No, the departments will report to the committees. So at the moment, the departments report to the informal meeting. So.
But will they attend every meeting?
They will report if DPW will report monthly to DPW committee.
Monday.
Monthly, excuse me, they will report to that. The fire department, instead of reporting here, will report to the safety committee.
Each committee will really just be 3 people.
3 to 5,
Okay.
if,
But all council members.
all kinds of members.
No one
No,
from the
these
public.
are standing committees up to common council.
Great.
Any other questions? Okay, so with that amendment that I'm going to add in room number 8, Do we have a motion to accept the rules of order?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I do, either one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Who are those people? Who are those council members?
everybody is in favor?
First and second.
Oh, sorry, that was.
Dominic?
Gary.
Joanna Dunn.
Mistakenly threw you in.
Yeah, now I go to.
Oh, and by the way, we will not be using theirs going forward. It's simply not my style. Okay, I'm looking for the agenda. So we have coverage, the rules of order, we've designated majority and minority lead, and now I think we just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Oh, sorry, hang on, we have a comment.
Question, so this new structure, so there's gonna be standing committee, there's gonna be, standing committees now, so if the public wants to get involved, the public can attend any of those
Correct.
meetings?
Yes.
Okay. And is that sort of the recommended way to get involved in a certain issue, is that you should just show up to the committee, because that's gonna be the most conversational?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like that, or reach out to your council member.
okay.
I was also wondering if there be agendas for the committee meetings kind of.
Yes, there are always agenda.
I got a question, Margaret.
Yeah.
You said that, the departments will be meeting monthly, so those meetings, there will probably, you said more than one meeting.
The committees will meet monthly.
Yeah, I mean, the committees.
They meet monthly, the two committees that are currently in
Yeah,
existence.
but now I'm gonna have, I mean, more.
How many committee you join?
Well,
Yeah, I know.
there are going to be five
Five
committees,
committees.
and if you're on one committee, you will attend one monthly meeting. In addition to,
Then also be on more than one committee.
but you could choose any of this grid, I put a column in, indicate how many committees you're willing to serve.
Thank you.
Yeah, just by the numbers alone, most people will have to be in team. Yeah,
Minimum of three.
Yeah, at least committees.
The minimum, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think.
With only 11 members, there would have to be a minimum of 3 for 5.
It's community.
Yeah, not hard.
Especially if we do back-to-back meetings.
Five committees times 3 equals 15.
For
And
example,
there's 11 of us.
there was a minimum of 3.
Yeah.
I'm just confused about when the meetings are gonna happen.
Minimum
Like,
of 3.
We'll show that.
And that will be a problem. Ronnie,
Yeah.
that will be a problem, because here I am on 2, and we all have to get select a day that we're all available.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an issue.
Yeah. No,
But
but
big issue.
That's
why it's better to have 3 people. It's a lot easier to choose a time.
We will not, you need 15 slots to staff 5 committees with a minimum of 3 people. There are 11 of us. We will not all be serving on 2 and 3 committees. That's why I put the column in to say how many are you willing to do. That's, it'll be fine. And if it's not, we will return to the drawing board. We will.
Yeah, easy question.
Yeah.
Thank you for the new rules. The time that we had already discussed about 6 and 7, if I can I speak to that a little bit?
Sure.
6 o'clock is a great time, but if it serves the community better, it's not necessarily what serves us better. If it's easier for the public the majority gets out at 5, they might want to go home for dinner, they might have kids, they might have something to do. 7 o'clock, I think statistically, it shows it is better for a community to be available. It's not speaking to the committees, of course, but a community to be available. All right, we're back, we're done.
6:30.
Well, regardless of,
I think.
there are,
Can you give us some statistics? I'd be willing to change.
I will present you the statistics, but that would be my,
I would like, yeah, I think, well, I said in the beginning that I'm okay with.
yes, I understand that a lot of people are worked and some have different schedules, but that, the general public being at 5, that was, and historically why the meetings were set. Anyway, that,
Bigger coming up here.
I will ask NICOM for their data.
So next week, our meeting is at 6. so you can protect your data.
I will present it then. I second.
Are you joining the session in February?
Yeah,
I'll see you there.
You're going to the NICOM meeting in February?
I haven't finished signing it yet, but I'm
Me
going
neither,
to.
yeah, me neither.
Yes, okay.
Okay,
Live.
yes,
Thank you. So as a practical matter, I noticed Linda's gonna be doing the minutes. So that would imply that there would be, no committee would be meeting, no two committees would be meeting at the same time.
that's correct.
So do you want to explicitly indicate that in the rules?
We'll figure out the schedule once we get the responses from everybody.
Yeah,
So before we adjourn, I'm going to get some comments, and I just want you to know that we do need to have an executive session this evening.
Oh.
So.
And
just
Margaret,
FYI.
hi, it's
hello?
Janice, I'm on. Hi, it's Janice, I'm on.
Janice, can you mute your phone, please?
Well, I need to,
Sorry,
don't have my-
we're still in our general meeting. I just wanted you to join, and if you could just mute.
no, I understand that, but I'm trying to tell you something procedurally. You shouldn't adjourn the meeting. You should adjourn into executive session, come out of executive session, and then adjourn the meeting.
We have not adjourned the meeting yet. We have not adjourned.
I understand that. It sounded like you were going to adjourn before you went into executive session.
No, I'm letting the
Okay.
public know that we will
Okay,
be
I'm
going
sorry.
into executive session. And we are not expecting any other business after executive
I think it's
session.
because,
So that people know that they can leave and they do not need to come back because we have done the business of this meeting. That is all I'm communicating. You have something more?
Oh, no, for Lyle question, we had it, before pandemic, we changed it to everything in one informal meeting, but before the pandemic, we used to have a meeting, in the same days, like, from 6 to
Yeah.
7, 1, and 7 to 8, 1, it's like that time, so fire and safety in the morning,
Right.
6 o'clock, and another meeting on 7 o'clock. We conduct.
Some of them were done back to back.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to the department heads about that very
Yeah.
structure. That basically, but it just breaks the thing up instead of it being a 3-hour formal meeting.
Maybe in addition to what you're putting into your form, Roni, maybe you can just put in what times were available. So,
I don't see any hands raised, Logan. So, we are going to go into executive session. Can we have the motion to go into executive?
Motion to adjourn.
No.
Okay, question for executive session.
So, the one, motion, do we have a second?
You need to say why you're going into the executive session.
The purpose of executive is to discuss, a legal matter relating to an something.
what?
Article 7.
Sorry, one more time, so we didn't do.
Article 7.
So if you could lock the meeting.
I'll tell you when I get it. This is behind the scenes.
so I see some faces that I haven't seen in a while. Joining the meeting again. I mean, remote and in person.
So we still have a few people in.